Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loudesmond, Christian Giordani, Rocky Giordani, and Jeremy James. Bet on us to make you a better better.
What?
Let's get ready to steer the line.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Steer the Line. I'm your host, Christian Giordani. Alongside of me, we have Loudesmond, our professional sports team captain, and Rocky Giordani, our ex-professional athlete. Fellas, how you doing on this fine Friday afternoon?
Good. We're 8 days from real football. College football week 0, featuring 6 or 7 games on next Saturday. And in fact, it goes all day and all night because there's a late game from Hawaii, which is on at 7 Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So that's your nightcap. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors will be on in your nightcap next week. I should probably pull up the full rundown of week 0. And while I do that, Christian, why don't you get us into some NFL news?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Obviously, I think the biggest news of the week so far, the 10th overall pick this year in the NFL draft, J.J. McCarthy is out for the season with a meniscus tear. Rocky, I know you're obviously disappointed in it. You were very excited to see J.J. McCarthy this year, what he can do for the Vikings. What's your thoughts going through right now? You know, meniscus tear right before
it's not the end of the world, but he's out for the season. I was very high on this kid. I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of that draft. I know I caught a lot of flack for that, but now we'll never know. But I watched some of the games yesterday, and I thought last week, I thought he did really well. I still think he's going to turn out to be the best quarterback. Heartbreaking. What do you do now if you're a coach or a fan? What do you do with Justin Jefferson? Now,
well, you got Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Who's out with an injury, by the way. And this is the one thing I really would like to just bring up really quick. I'm so over preseason football. McCarthy's out. Sam Darnold's out too. Puka got hurt. Matthew got hurt. I mean, so many injuries. It's just Milano's. You look at the injury list. It's like who's who in football, man. They're all hurt. Everybody's hurt.
The Matt Milano injury is a huge blow to the Buffalo Bills. Although he was missing for 12 games, the last 12 games last year, and they survived that. But then again, they've lost. I heard the stat today. Now more than it was 42% of their defensive snaps experience was lost at the end of last year by guys leaving the Bills and going other places.
Yeah.
It's now well over 50% of their defense has changed over. So that's going to be interesting to see there.
Bottom line there is they lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now without Milano, they may make the playoffs, but this is huge. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's Kansas City is still the problem for everybody in the AFC. The one team that has beaten Kansas City consistently, I'm really looking forward to seeing them, and that is how Joe Cool and the Bengals roll out. By the way, Christian, what do you think of the new platinum blonde short hair?
Hate it. It looks like Slim Shady. Joe Burrow.
Did he? Hey, he can do it. Joe Cool.
Joe Burrow looks like Slim Shady. They're calling him Slim Shiesty. Slim Burrow. But yeah. Aside from that, the Bengals are a great team. They did, however, lose their left tackle. Their right tackle Deontay Smith with a patellar tendon injury, which could be out for significant time. And with already brutally weakened offensive line, it's just gotten worse for Joe Burrow.
Again.
Yeah, the Saints have massive offensive line problems.
The Rams have as well.
Trevor Penning, their right tackle, who was the left tackle last year, apparently is getting beat by second and third string guys in practice. and giving the team serious concerns. Fuaga, their big draft pick, left tackle, left practice with a sore back. Back injuries suck. I have one right now. It's, I'm old now. It's a stupid thing where, hey, I just turned too quick in the car, right? Trying to look at something and, and tweak something. And it's been a week and it still hurts, right? Back injuries, you just never know. The 49ers, holy crap, they have 22 players on the injured list from camp. 22. They have so many injuries, they canceled their joint practices with the Saints this week. They play the Saints Saturday night. There was supposed to be a full 3 days of joint practices between the 49ers and the Saints. The 49ers canceled them on Monday, said we're not doing it because they said we just have too many injuries. We can't field enough people to make it worth your time. All the 49ers have been doing in the last week is going through walkthroughs and meetings. That's how bad their injury situation is. So the 49ers, the Saints, the Bills, all teams that in the preseason look like they have some significant issues with injuries and problems. And then the 49ers don't have Ayuk signed. The Saints haven't been able to find a safety to join the team that they trust. They had the big high-profile free strong safety they wanted to sign. He signed with the Falcons yesterday in the same division. So I'm feeling bad for my Saints. I think it looks bad. The 49ers have all kinds of injury problems, and the Bills losing Matt Milano is huge.
OBJ's on the pup list.
No surprise there.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's, fairly typical. What do you make of Matt Stafford's hamstring issue, Christian? What do you hear? You were at Rams camp.
I was at Rams camp. I saw Matthew Stafford no farther than 4 feet away from me, and he looked healthy. He looked completely dominant. As an athlete, hamstring injuries linger. They always have. They have for me. They have for Rocky. Loud, I'm sure they have for you as well.
It was my ankles. Playing rugby for 15 years, it was my ankles that were always once you've sort of torn up your ankles, it's that much easier for them to get torn up again. You sort of, I guess, you weaken those ligaments.
Yep.
And so I had several really bad ankle sprains, and then it just became chronic. Every few weeks I would tweak an ankle, and then it would be 2 or 3 weeks before I felt close to normal. But you just tape it up and you go play. That's rugby. So,
yeah, the issueness with Matthew Stafford's hamstring injury, it's not a serious grade pull or strain. It's just a low grade strain. Obviously, those lingers, you want to get them checked out. He has the proper procedure to get it stretched out, to get it massaged out, whatever he has out there. But it shouldn't be no issue. He should be returning to practice within the next few days.
Yeah, but a hamstring injury is something that you can totally prepare for it. It'll come back anyway. This is something that has to be babied every day for the rest of the season. He has to do certain stretches. He cannot ignore them ever. First, just let it get completely healed, man, because what it does, basically, it just tears a little bit, and blood fills in there. Luckily, he'll go on a high protein diet. It'll fill with muscle, but stretching is the key. Christian, how much therapy do you have? And I told you were going to pull that hamstring for months. I told you you're going to pull a hamstring.
Doing the splits of first base will do that to you.
There you go.
Yeah, a good thing with Matthew Stafford.
We are a betting show, are we not?
Yes.
All right. So
we're betting Stafford comes back 100%.
So let's talk about some picks. First of all, I had the Eagles plus 2.5 against the Patriots last night. Didn't look so good for most of the game, but they came back at the very end and actually ended up winning that game by 1 point. So, let me pat myself on the back. I had that one right. Sorry?
Thanks to Zappy.
Yeah, thank you, Bailey Zappi. I mean, you want to talk about a stupid name for an NFL quarterback. The Bears play the Bengals tomorrow in the earliest game on the slate. Bengals at the Bears. No, I'm sorry. I think it's Bears at Bengals.
No, you're right. Bengals at the Bears.
Bengals at the Bears. Okay. This game started -2.5 on Monday. It's now -6.5 Bears.
Yes.
So in the preseason, you see some much bigger line moves based on a coach coming out and saying, yeah, we're not playing our starters, or a coach coming out and saying we are playing our starters. I'm still on the Bears -6.5 because I think that the Bears are trying to show everybody that, hey, we can win. Hey, we're good now. Hey, look at our great young quarterback. He's going to play. Caleb Williams. The Bears beat the other team they played last week like 33-6. The Bengals don't give a rat's, you know what, because the last thing they're going to do is get anybody injured who matters. So, yeah, I still think the Bears are going to win that one pretty handily. Rocky.
Yeah, still a lot of points for me. That's a full touchdown. Bears got beat up in the first week of preseason, right?
No, the Bears won 33-6.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. They played again. No, they play tomorrow.
Yeah, they
play tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. No, 6 points a lot for me, but I agree.
I know.
Bengals will not dare put any of their starters on that field. So yeah, why not 6? Why not 10?
And we know Caleb Williams is going to get a quarter at least, maybe 2 in that preseason game.
I would not be surprised if he plays the full first half.
Yeah.
Not at all. The Browns play the Vikings. Now, this is a weird one to me. The line came out Monday morning, Browns -2.5. About 2 or 3 hours later, the news came out, J.J. McCarthy is out for the season. That line has only gone to Browns -3.
Yeah.
It's barely moved. That seems very weird to me because the way I look at this game now, okay, the Vikings now only really have one viable starter, and that's Sam Darnold, and he's barely viable. But the 2 guys behind him should be playing flag football or in the UFL. They're not NFL starting quarterbacks, even close. And Sam Darnold isn't even really a starting quarterback. Maybe the only team that has a worse quarterback room than the Vikings now is the Raiders. So they're not going to put Sam Darnold on the field. There's no way. So they're going to have 2 nobodies at quarterback. And you would think the Browns, since they've said Deshaun Watson's going to play the first half. So what I think this really is nobody believes Deshaun Watson is ever going to be good again. That's the way I read it. Christian?
No, I completely agree. I had the same questions you have when I saw the line. It was sitting at 2.5. J.J. McCarthy goes out, and obviously had a great first preseason week, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. So obviously taking a guy with a factor out like that, there's questions why the lines wouldn't move, and that is the most probable answer, that everyone just basically knows Deshaun Watson's past it, and there's no quarterback in that Browns room that could really make a difference in this game as well.
God, is it possible that he just is done? Like somehow, what happened?
You can't sit out for 2 years.
He sat out before he got injured.
Yeah, you can't sit out for a year. And you cannot play football for 2 years and expect to be the same guy. It's the sad truth. And it's not the sad truth, it's the truth. Deshaun Watson, everything that's happened to Deshaun Watson, he got coming to him. Except for that
Le'Veon Bell sat out a year, and was he ever the same player?
No.
So I mean, I'm kind of, but it is shocking though. I mean, if you look at Deshaun Watson's last season with the Texans, he was fantastic.
Yeah, tough as nails, played great.
And then now he's just Russell Wilson.
He was in that MVP conversation that last year with Lamar.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, he was 2 touchdown passes away from the Triple Crown that year.
Yeah, that's I've never seen anything quite like it. But yeah,
one of the quickest fall offs in NFL history must be studied.
Yeah, so in this game, I still have the Browns minus the 3 points. The Vikings aren't going to put anybody on the field. Nobody. They got bit by the injury with J.J. McCarthy, and I just don't – I think their coach now is going to be so injury risk averse. You're going to see – basically, if they could suit up the janitor, they'd put him on the field before regular players. The Cowboys take on the Raiders in Vegas on Saturday. This game opened Cowboys +4. And I liked it at Cowboys +4. Did you see how badly the Raiders effed up the end of that game that they were leading last week?
No.
They were leading the Vikings by 2 points with 49 seconds left. The Vikings were out of timeouts. They had just completed a pass short of a first down, and they were 2nd down and 3 at the 45-yard line on the Raiders side of the field, and they have no timeouts left, and the clock is running, and the Raiders call timeout. The Raiders called a timeout. To which the Vikings broadcasters who were calling the game on NFL Network said, "What are they doing? Did the Raiders just call that time? Is that an official? The Raiders called a time." I mean, they were blown away that the Raiders coaching staff could be so stupid as to call a timeout 2nd and 3 when the Vikings are running guys on and off the field trying to figure out what they're doing. And the clock is running, and I mean, it was just so dumb. I have no faith in the Raiders whatsoever. The Cowboys, by the way, are now +7. Rocky, like you said earlier with the Bengals, that's a lot of points in a preseason game, and I'm all over the Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't think the Cowboys are going to play anybody, but I don't know. I don't think the Raiders have anything to prove in the preseason either, especially after a month like that. They're probably pretty much going to relax. I don't know why anybody starts anybody. Kansas City going to play their starters tomorrow, and I believe the Texans will too. They're going to start. They're going to start all their first stringers. So I don't know. You see the logic in it. Get them a little playing time, maybe 5-10 minutes, 4 or 5 snaps. But with all this going on, man, I don't know. I don't see the Cowboys feeling any of their starters. I know Dak won't play.
Well, Cooper, but you look at what the quarterback.
Cooper Rush. Right.
Yeah, you look at what Dallas has at backup QB. They've got Cooper Rush and Trey Lance.
While we're on there, can we talk about how terrible that Rams-Cowboys game was?
One more thing. Cowboys defense don't understand preseason. They'll come out to play. So I'm with you, Lou. Give up the points.
Cowboys +7 in that game. Christian?
Yeah, Cowboys +7. I like it. But that game, can we talk about that? If Trey Lance and Stetson Bennett ever play another NFL game against each other, I think it might just be the end of the world.
I think the Stetson Bennett experiment must come to an end after tomorrow.
He threw 4 of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
Terrible.
And then he wins the game.
He won the game. That's the worst part. I'm a Rams fan.
Throws away his opportunity. And
I'm a diehard Rams fan.
Are we seeing just melting down? What's his name? Pittsburgh. Justin Fields had an opportunity to wrest that starting job away. He fumbles the first 2 snaps. I mean, oh my God.
Really? I was telling Christian that earlier. They left the door open for the quarterback controversy, and Justin Wilson slammed it in his own face. And Russell Wilson will be the QB1 when that starts.
Trey Lance, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson are like the triumvirate of some of the worst quarterback moves that teams have ever made. I mean, Oh, my God. What Denver gave up for Russell Wilson, what the 49ers gave up for Trey Lance, what the Bears tried to do with Justin. Oh, my Lord.
That Deshaun Watson trade and
We'll
the
go
Russell
down as
Wilson
one of the
trade
worst.
was in the same offseason, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be one of the worst off seasons ever, if you truly think about it.
Yeah, it's just insane. The Packers and the Broncos play on Sunday night at you know what I don't understand? Why do they have a Thursday night game, no Friday night, a bunch of games on Saturday, and then nothing on Sunday until 5 o'clock? And then both of the games are at the same time. So you can only get to watch one. Rocky, you're raising your hand. Yes.
Yes, teacher. I'd like to answer that question.
Please.
To the best of my knowledge, playing on Saturday benefits you going into the regular season. You get 1 day extra rest.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, simple as that.
I'm just saying, as a fan, it's frustrating that there's all these games on Saturday and you don't get to watch all of them because a bunch of them are being played at the same time. And then you come to Sunday and there's nothing all day. And then, there's 2 games at 5 o'clock. Saints at 49ers and Packers at Broncos. But you only get to watch one because NFL Network will only give you one of the 2 games. I don't understand why NFL Network can't basically have one on the A channel and one on the B channel. Because on YouTube TV, they actually have 3 channels. So I don't understand why they don't do that. All right, Packers at Broncos. Broncos opened at -3.5 Monday morning. It is now Broncos -7. Rocky.
I don't understand any of that. I have no idea what's going on. Obviously, they're not planning on starting any of their.
Who isn't planning on starting any of their starters?
The Packers.
Broncos or Packers?
Packers.
Right.
Only thing I can come up with. But I don't know. I'd say leave that one alone.
Bo Nix got the.
Bo Nix is the man, by the way. Yeah, there you go. Broncos.
That's exactly why Bo Nix got the nod to start, and it looks like he's not just only going to play the first half, but the majority of the game.
That should be enough.
So that should be enough to cover that 7-point spread.
Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to betting strategy, people, the NFL games are available for the following Sunday, early Monday morning Eastern time. You really need to, if you're going to be serious about your betting, and I mean by serious, I'm not talking about the amount of money. I'm about taking it seriously in terms of you're actually trying to win, not just screw around, not just blow your money. When the early lines come out, if you see one you like, jump on it because they're going to change. They're going to move. Things are going to happen. And yeah, I have the other side people come to me and say, well, right up to game time, there might be injuries. There might be this. There might be that. Well, you know what? Earlier this week, the Bears were -2.5. Now they're -6.5. Did you like it better on Monday at -2.5? Yeah. So if you like it then, take it then. Cowboys +4, now +7. Okay, maybe that's the other side where you should have waited. I get it, but I'm just saying when it comes to when you look at the lines early Monday morning, and if you see one you like, jump on it because chances are it's going to change. By the way, my final pick this week, the Ravens are -1 at home with the Falcons coming in. Harbaugh's not going to lose 2 in a row in the preseason. Just saying. Take the Ravens -1. Rocky?
Yeah, I like the Ravens in that one. One exception to the rule of betting early Monday morning.
Yeah, I love exceptions.
Yeah, if there's a team you really want to bet on, but the spread's too high, you can wait till the smart hope it comes down later in the week. If it's something you just can't resist, you're gonna bet it anyway. But the spread's too high on when it first come out, the first opening line. Wait, because sometimes the fans are driving that line, And when the smart money comes in, it'll come back down.
Yeah. It's all about the sharp money versus the dumb money.
Yeah.
And, trying to play that, it at times, it's like trying to time the stock market.
Yeah.
It can be really tricky.
Yeah, it can. It's only if you have a team you want to bet, but you can't because the line's too high. Just wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah. Understood. All right. Looking forward to, can you imagine next week at this time, there is college football the next
I'm so excited.
Real college football that counts.
College football.
Stop there.
That's so
Okay, before we end the show, I want to ask a question for each of you. The Brandon Ayuk trade, we've been beating it like a dead horse. It's between Pittsburgh and San Francisco resigning.
1 minute.
Loud. I just want a quick yes or no for both of these questions. Is Brandon Ayuk a Pittsburgh Steeler next week? And does that help their chances to get in the playoffs? Do they become a playoff team after that? Loud.
Yes. 49ers can't have it all. They have to sign Debo and their quarterback next year. So if they keep Ayuk, Debo's got to go. Lou?
Loud.
Brandon Ayuk should remain with the 49ers because he will continue to look like a great wide receiver. Yeah. If he goes to the Steelers, he will drop to the bottom 30 in fantasy football points. Just saying.
All right, everyone. That's the predictions for me. I think this will go on for another week going ahead. Everyone, this is the Line Lucy Guy. Next week for the third season of the NFL.